Breaking down the 2021 Chicago State men's soccer season with the head coach, Trevor Banks. I'm Sam Brief. Coach, this was the first men's soccer season in like 30 years. I wasn't even born yet. How does it feel looking back that in starting a program, the program has started and you've played a full season?
Yeah, it was intense. I say that. There are a lot of things that I didn't expect, that our team didn't expect, but we rode through the adversity and we continued to just fight throughout the whole season. So it was awesome to watch the group grow from the first day of training when we got here in August to now, and seeing the growth within the team and each individual, right? And so for me, that was awesome to see that piece and trying to put it all together in a small amount of time, which was difficult, but we were able to kind of find ourselves as the season went on a little bit, you know?
Coach, I know you're huge on hand motions. Keep that mic towards your mouth, all right? That's my coaching tip to you. So here's the thing, Coach. Your season started on August 26th with a big win under the lights, SeatGeek Stadium, against a Big Ten team in Northwestern. Looking back at that day, what sort of tone did that set for your team?
I think it might have gave us something that we thought we were something that we aren't just yet. When you watch that game, it was an awesome match. It was great. I got an opportunity to open up a season against one of my mentors in Russell Payne, and that was a lot of fun to it. I think the guys knew the significance behind the game, and they wanted to come out and fight, and they did. But in watching the game, if you have a soccer mind, you're going to know that there were a bunch of individuals on the field. So we won the game. Yeah, it was great. But we fought as individuals, right? We fought as a team, but like the individual talents is what came out rather than the team talent. You know what I mean? And we were able to individually create two opportunities that led to us winning the game. But as the season went on, you started seeing that individual talent came out, less of a team talent. And we tried to obviously mesh the group as much as we could throughout the season. But that's tough in your first season you brought in 32 new guys. None of them have ever played together before. And you're trying to put those talents together in a very, very small amount of time. So it was fun, but it was also difficult trying to figure that piece out, figuring out the proper lineup in the game. I don't think there was a game where we went back-to-back with the same lineup besides toward the end of the season. But in the beginning, you're trying to figure out this piece, and can this piece work here? Can that piece work there? And you're making these moves to try and put the best lineup out there together. You're substituting guys in the game that you feel could help. And when you look at everything as the season went on, we only played about 13 guys throughout the season, maybe a 14th guy here and there whenever those matches kind of came through us. And so it was interesting trying to figure out all those pieces in the beginning, because in the beginning we had all these random pieces that were, okay, we're going to put this guy in. Let's see how this works. Put this guy in. And then as things went on, you started to notice where we were only able to play 12, 13, maybe 14 guys in some games, as we did on the weekend, this last weekend at UIW, not UIW, HBU. And so that's what I would say. It was a lot of fun, but it was also very difficult, just trying to figure out that those pieces and putting those pieces in the right places. Also getting to know the team. And a lot of the teams that we played, all of the teams that we played, knew who their players were. For us, we were still getting an idea of what can this guy do. Enrique Zamora, what a surprise on the season. A guy who walked onto this team and completely changed the perplexity of what our team is, and was able to come in and be a guy that, in my opinion, was one of our best, most consistent players throughout the whole season. And so it was awesome to see that. I'm so happy for him, because he showcased a lot in his 5'2" body, and it was great to be able to see what he's able to do. And I'm super excited for his future, because he also showcased that he can play at this level and do some things that a lot of people didn't expect from him, So for me, that's a nice surprise. Pieces like that. Then to the awesome surprise, a freshman that came in, West Chicago kid, that you look at, and my expectation wasn't for him to step in and start right away. The kid started every single game and played pretty much every single minute of every single game this season. And he was absolutely a rock in the back for us. And so it was exciting to see those pieces. Patrick Powers, another freshman who stepped into the game and started 90% of the games this season for us and did really well. Again, not expecting him to step in and start, but you're asking these freshmen to come in and perform at the highest level right away against established teams that have juniors and seniors on their teams that are competing against us. And so it was cool to see them be able to compete with those guys. But now we've set that foundation for where we are, and we want to continue to grow from there. So we don't just want to compete as we move forward. We want to put ourselves in a position to win these games and take advantage of the opportunities that we pretty much missed this year, if I'm being honest. There were a lot of opportunities, a lot of games we were right there in, and we just missed wide open opportunities or missed 1v1 chances or missed a goal on certain shots when we had opportunities to put those shots off. So I'm excited to kind of see how the team continues to grow through this first offseason, which is what I've been saying right from the get that we need. We need an offseason to get the group together to really have an idea and have an understanding of who we are here at Chicago State.
You say you need an offseason. Well, now it's the offseason. It might not fully have set in yet, but we are in that offseason. So given all the challenges, getting this team to mesh, right, guys from different cultures, speaking different languages, it's tough to put a team like that together rapid fire, microwave style. Well, now you can bake it in the oven, let it marinate a little bit for the full offseason. So tell me, Coach, what's the next step? What's the offseason going to look like? How do you make sure your team does convert on those opportunities?
The offseason is going to be a lot of teaching. So for us, it's going to be a lot of times where we're spending a lot of times with groups, individuals, kind of really breaking down what their role is within the team, the style in which we want to play, putting that together in this offseason. I feel like we had a bunch of different things that we wanted from the group. And I feel like having this offseason, they're going to have an understanding of what that actually is. Whereas during the season, it was a little bit tough to get that going as much as we wanted to get it going because you don't have as much time to teach certain things, right? Because you're coaching. You're coaching them in certain moments. You're trying to figure out ways to win games, and you're doing that side of things more so. So I'm excited for the group to learn. I'm excited for the group to grow in that area, to get better with our tactics, to get better with our understanding of our style of play, and that's what this offseason is going to be for us.
I asked you, Coach, at the very beginning of the season, if you had to describe your team using a food, what would it be? You told me lasagna, and then you went into meticulous detail about the pasta, the sauce, the cheese, the meat, all that. So now, after a season, I'm going to ask you the same question. And do you have the same answer or something else?
I would still say the same answer, but I would say our lasagna this season didn't taste as good, right? For me, we were too individualistic this last season, and we're going to spend this off season coming together as a team and understanding what our culture is, understanding what we're about when we're on the field, understanding what we're about when we're off the field. And I think that we're going to get rid of some of this stuff, and we're actually going to be able to bake the lasagna. So I feel like this season we were able to put it together, sure, but we weren't able to bake it the way that I needed it to be baked. And I think this offseason is going to allow us to do that, as you just said. We have some time. And this time right here, we're going to use this time very much so for all those pieces of the lasagna to understand why they're so delicious. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me. And also, I didn't really know how to make lasagna. Now I know. So I'm looking forward to watching you next 10 months do a little baking. That's the Chicago State head men's soccer coach, Trevor Banks. I'm Sam Brief, and we'll talk next time when the lasagna's baked. Thanks.